What's something you've gotten away with as a kid because they're young and don't know what they're doing? When really you knew exactly what you were doing? The first 2 years of elementary school I had to take the public bus 2 times a week to get to my school. So my mom gave me money for the ticket each morning I needed it. What she didn't know, I never once bought a ticket and kept all the money. 2 times I got caught, but pretended I didn't even know how to buy one and they let me go, because I was so young. A young entrepreneur with an illegal money-making scheme. Nice. He has the natural ability to create a fake business and get those lucrative government contracts. I've only seen this raw power once before. Is it possible to learn this power? Not from an upstanding entrepreneur. My parents had weird schedules, so for school, my mom usually packed my lunch in the evening and my dad would give me lunch money in the morning, not knowing that I already had lunch packed. I continued that scam for a couple of months until I had enough money to buy a Wii, which is when my parents noticed that they've been tricked by a 7-year-old, but of course they didn't think I did it on purpose. The funniest part of this is the thought of a 7-year-old bringing home a brand new Wii and the parents just going, huh? That's where my plan was destroyed. My dad drove me to an electronics and the checkout person thought something was off about a kid running around with so much cash. He asked my dad if it's okay that he's selling it to me, and my dad was really confused. "Hi, I'd like to pay for this game system in all ones and quarters, please." "Sir, that's only $20.75. Oh wait, I forgot." Here pulls out 3 unwrapped $100 stacks of ones. Crumpled in his fist. I used to work in a bookstore and a preteen boy would come in every week to buy the next book in some preteen series, which was precious, but would pay with $1 bills individually rolled up and sticking out of his wallet like French fries. I don't know if this fits because I don't remember it at all, but when I was around 3 or so, my sister, 10 years older, kept getting blamed for eating all the ice cream, and would deny it, which made my mom mad. Then one day, my mom rounds the corner into the kitchen, then quickly pulls back to watch little ol' me drag a chair from the table over to the freezer, grab a spoon from the drawer, open said freezer and dive into the ice cream, finish and put the ice cream back, close the freezer, lick the spoon and put it back into the drawer, and pull the chair back over to the table. It was almost the perfect crime. Oh, I definitely recognize this, except me and my brother were both in on it. We would lift one another up onto the kitchen counter so we could reach the upper cabinet, then shovel handfuls of candy in our pockets. Yum. Kids. Mine are still too young yet to collaborate in that way, but I can see it in my future. Happy Cake Day, BTW. Edit, while I absolutely don't put anything past the 3-year-old, she's already trying to pass blame onto her brother. The other is only 9 months, so I think I've got some time. They are thick as thieves so far though, so I'm going to have to watch them closely as the little one grows. Oh, I was stealing candy before I could pronounce the word. Sugar is a hell of a drug, ha ha ha. Thank you. I threw a water balloon during a birthday party at my friend's dad that I didn't like. Made him spill his drink. I was like 5 or 6. Whoopsie. Then high-five the others. I was on a trampoline, and my older brother kept pushing me whenever I tried to stand up. He repeatedly did this about 7 times. He pushed me all the way to the springs. I tried to stand up again, and he pushed me off the trampoline. Because of the way he pushed me, I was falling head first, so I reached above my head to protect my head from the impact. I broke my fall with my arm, and I broke my arm with my fall. Compound fracture, bone pierced the skin, it popped back in immediately after stabbing my skin, so I never got to see the bone. He told our parents that I was about to fall off the trampoline, and he tried to catch me but he accidentally pushed me. And my parents thought, he tried his best, but he's just a kid, so at least he tried to catch him. Do you still hold a grudge? A little bit, but it doesn't affect how I act towards him now. I'm now moved out and in college. That brother has been moved out for a long time now. But when I was younger, that incident is what kept my parents from letting me get a trampoline for so long. I literally begged for years to get a trampoline, but because of his excuse, they thought I was actually going to fall off of it, so they thought it was too dangerous for me. So the grudge that remains is the fact that a lot of potential childhood fun was taken because of his lie. Well, if that makes it any better, my parents were the same. We've never owned a trampoline. It was too dangerous apparently. But you can't shield your child from danger. Because they'll end up going to South Africa without you and doing a 216 meters bungee jump. Yes, I'm proud of that. Smile. Such a good truth, ha ha ha. I've really been wanting to take a trip to North Korea, ha ha ha. Probably a stupid idea. It's funny too, I'm 6 years younger than that brother. And I'm the youngest of 3, but I've always been the most agile one. So I've been able to do flips and things for a long time, and I think my brother just didn't like that I was better at something than he was. That's basically been everything in my life though. If I've ever been better at something, it was their goal to make me not do it. Let that motivate you, my dude. Be you. I stole a ball from a thrift store. I said I thought it was just someone's lost ball since it was obviously not a brand new item in a store. However, I fully understood the concept of a thrift store. This thread was made for me. I was one of those kids who was smart but had very little common sense, so doing these types of things was not unusual for me. I was in Pop Warner, think kids from 10 to 13, football, and I absolutely hated our assistant coach. He was the quarterback's dad and a complete asshole to me, was the center, i.e. the lineman who hikes the ball to the quarterback. Every time something went wrong it was my fault, always making me run laps, picking on me for having a squeaky voice and being overweight. With the benefit of hindsight, I have no idea what was wrong with this guy to be so shitty to a kid. Anyway, we went to the playoffs but lost our last game to a much better team. I had seen people dump Gatorade onto the coach on TV and thought, duck it. Now is my chance. He was wearing a white polo with khakis and I dumped a whole jug of red Kool-Aid on him. I smiled and shouted, "Great season, coach." He was pissed but completely shocked too. My dad ran up quietly but sternly asking, "What are you doing?" And I just said that I saw people do it on TV. The coach laughed and shook his head. He patted me on the shoulder and said, "People really only do that when you win, but I understand how you got confused." The whole team went to dinner after that. Dude had to spend the rest of his evening in sticky pink clothes. It was the first time I ever felt like I got away with anything. He reacted better than expected if he was an asshole. Probably because the parents were there, was being watched. Yeah, you just look like a dick if the other adults are laughing it off and you go off on a kid. I was the victim of this. We were both kids but I was the older one. I had my head out of the window and my cousin rolled it up, choking me till I was teary. I was livid but her mom didn't punish or discipline her cause she's just a kid. Another tiny evil mastermind. Hurting you then pretending they don't know what they were doing. When he was young, my uncle once put his fingers through the gap between the door and the wall at the side of the hinges. My aunt then walked up from the other side and tried to close the door from the other side, but my uncle's fingers were stuck in there. She then put her full weight on the door trying to close it, and she didn't hear my uncle screaming from the other side. His pinky broke and healed at an angle, so it still sticks out diagonally from his hand to this day. He still doesn't believe her either, ha ha. My cousins are the same. The times that I've visited them I've received death threats on my bed, had my locked room broken into and apparently had them just stare at me while I was sleeping a few times for a good half hour. Plus there's 7 of them. Geez, no relaxing on family visits. This reminds me of something I actually went through. There was a 6-year-old who used to step on me and my sister's feet. We normally didn't have socks on, twist so that it hurt more. Then when we got mad at him he would say "I'm little" with a smile. Oof, that could use some parental correction. She knew, she just didn't care. We used to live with her and her kid. We got out of there real quick when she started acting like it wasn't him and he didn't do anything wrong. I always feel bad for kids that are spoiled like that. They'll most likely grow up to be dicks even if they had the potential to be kind.